There's been a trend popping up during the college football playoffs these last couple of years, and that is the rematch, the conference rematch. And in these 4 matchups, whenever it's conference opponents playing against each other, the team that lost early on wins the second game. They always win the rematch. So Oregon is playing Indiana, and they lost by 10 points earlier this season to Indiana. Do you trust this trend for the Oregon Ducks to beat the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers? Now, Oregon's only loss on the season is to Indiana.
No, I don't trust it. If it were like we talked about before, if it was 3 games in the season and you'd won 2 of them, I'll give you that. Like, you're probably going to win that 3rd one. 2, though, I'm like,
that ain't enough.
And 4 is a small sample size, too. Like, if you told me, like, the last 10 did that, then I'd be like, okay, maybe that's a thing.
I'm not betting against Curt Cignetti. As far as this trend, I would bet on Oregon to cover because I believe it's 3.5.
Okay. And where is the game?
At the Peach Bowl. So it's an ATO. So there's no regional advantage in that game for any of these teams. And I love Curt Cignetti. I love Dan Lanning. I think these are 2 of the best coaches in college football. And Curt Cignetti has a good defense, but Dan Lanning has like 8 NFL guys on that defense. Now,
a lot.
I think Indiana has more college All-American types, but you got more pro-ready guys over here at Oregon. And I think that's the difference. And I think that in a rematch, these guys, these top recruited guys from Oregon are going to have to show that they can out-tough these 3-star, 4-star overachievers at Indiana. And I think they have the talent to do it, but we'll see. As far as who I trust more, as far as the quarterback matchup goes, I like Fernando Mendoza in this game just because he was more impressive in their last game. As far as players to watch, D'Angelo Pons, who I think is pound for pound the best cornerback in college football, plays for Indiana. He's going up against Malik Benson. Malik Benson was a high school track star who's been at Alabama, Florida State, and is now at Oregon. And because of all the injuries at wide receiver, he's been able to step up these last 2 or 3 weeks. He has 200-yard games in his last 3 games. Has a punt return for a touchdown during that stretch. And at 6'1", 195 pounds, if you run a 4.3 and you're putting up these types of numbers, NFL scouts are paying attention. So if he's able to put up a great performance against D'Angelo Pounds, I think that it could skyrocket to him. A guy who could be a top 100 pick in this draft. But if Pounds is able to shut him down, even though he's a 5'9" guy, he could be a first-round pick at corner. So that's what I'm looking for as far as players to watch. As far as the matchup, it's really going to be Oregon trying to match up with this very, very, very talented receiving core of Indiana. Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper. Like Brandon Finney just had 2 picks last week, and he was one of the top prep corners in the country. The thing is, there's only one Brandon Finney, but they have 3 elite wide receivers. They've got this kid named Charlie Becker, who's just a matchup nightmare. He averages like 20 yards a catch, has 500 yards on less than 30 catches. If you're betting Oregon to cover, but straight up, Indiana wins.